Bad news. It looks like Eastside Pitbull Cruz's dad says that Vasily Lomachenko is an easier fight than Shakur Stevenson, and he prefers his son to fight somebody else, not Shakur Stevenson. That's what I want to talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Let's jump right into it. So, a fan seen this and reached out to Shakur Stevenson via Twitter. And he says, Shakur Stevenson, what is your take on this, my Nia? And it's a excerpt. Now, full disclosure, I don't know exactly who to give credit to for where this interview came from, but it says Pitbull and Cruz Sr. not interested in the Shakur Stevenson fight alert. It says Cruz Sr. says, quote, I'd rather see my son fight Lomachenko. He is an easier fight and we will stop him. So that right there is already something, right? I'd rather see my son fight Lomachenko. He is an easier fight and we will stop him. Shakur fight would be extremely boring, running all over the place like a dog chasing a cat. We will probably make more money fighting other fighters, right? So that was the reported statement. And my dude Ari says, Pitbull turned down a Michel Rivera fight. No way in hell they would fight Shakur. All Pitbull and team want is easy fights until they get another tank payday, which may never come. Now, Sean Gibbons of MP Promotions, Manny Pacquiao Promotions, who has Pitbull Cruz signed, seen this and said, wrong. Pitbull Cruz never turned down Michael Rivera, who's now fighting Frank Martin, which is still a good fight. And then he says, Michelle Rivera, Sean says Pitbull never turned down the offer to fight you. Any thoughts? So a lot going on, but according to Eastside Pitbull Cruz Sr., they're not looking to fight Shakur Stevenson. They believe the fight would be boring. Now, if you guys follow my channel for any length of time, I don't really buy that. Like, there's a stigma, let's just be real, for certain fighters. Oftentimes it's black fighters or Cuban fighters. He ran and that type of stuff. I don't play those games. This, to me, one of my favorite movies is Jean-Claude Van Damme. Frank Duke, like, put up your dukes, right? And one thing that I loved about the movie Bloodsport with JCVD is the fact that Jean-Claude Van Damme and all the fighters were from various parts of the world, Paris and Japan and America, and those different fighters all participated in the Kumite, what they called it in the movies. So it was the Kumite, which was a tournament comprised of just fighters from all walks of life. And that's kind of how I view boxing. So in the boxing Kumite, you don't have the option. You got to, I remember they had a fat, sumo wrestling character, kind of like E Honda in Street Fighter in the movie. Then they had this dude from Africa, and he was almost like a monkey type of Blanca character. And you can see where a lot of the inspiration from the Street Fighter 2 game came from that Bloodsport movie, if you pay attention, because they had a guy that was like Saget that Van Damme had to face, etc. So the point I'm making is, in that Kumite, it don't matter. You got to fight the Blanca type dude, the sumo dude, the guy that fights like Saget in Bloodsport. It is what it is. So we can't accept that and allow that as a excuse, Shakur will probably be boring. Because my theory with the whole he's boring type of attitude in the world of boxing is this: if you don't like a certain fighter, the way they fight, you think it's boring, then that should be more reason for you to fight him. Rid the world of that fighter, because we know in the sport of boxing, taking a bad loss really can set you back several paces. So if you think a guy is so boring, then that should be more reason for you to want to fight him and try to destroy him So it's all action fighters. So like the bottom line is, when people say that, we know what time it is and we know what that equates to. That means this guy is skilled. He doesn't have ish for brains. He's not like a bronze over brains type of person where he's just on some tough man contest stuff. It means the guy's technical, the guy's strategic. That's what we get when we hear so-and-so's a runner, so-and-so's a marathon runner, track star, and the fight will be boring. Everybody turns into clairvoyance and they just determine how the fight's gonna look. But I don't believe that, and I don't buy that. Even in the fight where you have in MMA yesterday, you had Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira, and the way Alec was fighting, he put on a lot of pressure against a very technical guy, and he was losing the fight, but he came up with a huge stoppage in the final round, similar to the Leon Edwards and Usman fight, where it's like a guy that's clearly losing the fight, and then the champion gets knocked out in the final moments of the final round. So that's a huge setback, right? So I don't believe in, I forgot about this fight. So I don't believe in that. I don't believe in like, oh, this guy's so boring. So you got to fight whoever's there, the best versus the best, the people that we want to see you. And it's unfortunate. Bob Arum kind of alluded to this. He said a lot of guys aren't going to want to fight Shakur Stevenson. And if you're not a top guy, like, he didn't say Gervonta Davis, I don't think, but I'm assuming he's talking about Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, those types. Then you basically have no shot with Shakur Stevenson. So yeah, Shakur, he's definitely a great fighter, young fighter. Looks like he's challenging himself. He staying ready for the moment. He has a great skill set and base, Olympian. So, at the end of the day, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But it doesn't look like that fight will happen. I personally I want to see the fight, and I've always said that, but I didn't get my hopes up because I thought beyond the dad saying this, I thought there were several complications with making the fight, just based on the fact of you usually don't get to see fights like this with the cross-promotional boundaries where it's a top-ranked guy and an undefeated guy like Shakur Stevenson versus a guy who's being promoted very well and garnering fans from the Tank fights and Gamboa fights on PBC and Eastside Pitbull Cruz. But with Eastside Pitbull Cruz's pops saying that, the fight's boring, I think that element looks bad because it's unacceptable. Because again, you got to fight whatever style. Here's the thing. When I think of life, I also think of like different parallels. So what do I mean as it pertains to boxing? It would be like, I wouldn't accept it if a slick boxer says, hey, I ain't fighting that guy from Argentina. I'm not fighting that tough fighter from Mexico because he's a brawler. He's a one-punch knockout artist. Like that wouldn't make sense to me. Because again, you got to fight who the fans want to see you fight and who's the best people to show what you got. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't accept it either way. Again, the parallel. I wouldn't accept a fighter who's a slickster, who has limited power, saying he ain't fighting Marcos Maidana because he got too much power. He's not going to fight. But usually the funny thing is this, the irony is when you get a fundamentally sound fighter, even if they're limited in power, they're usually not afraid. If they have true technique and they're real confident, they're not afraid to fight bigger or stronger people because they have, again, the good fundamentals and a good base. But it's a one-way street. Typically, where you do see this occur is when somebody is too talented and they use lateral movement and they think and they have the potential to make opponents look bad through outboxing them, whether they have a lot of power or not, or mediocre power, right? That tends to be the excuse. Oh, this guy's boring. And Pitbull Cruz's team, they should stop putting that out, in my opinion. I like Pitbull Cruz. I like Shakur Stevenson. But they should stop putting it out because they did the same thing with Devin Haney. I remember because I did a video about it. Basically, pretty much the same thing was said. Oh, the Devin Haney fight would be boring. So it's like, that's not how boxing works. You got to fight who you got to fight. You know what I mean? Like top guys in the division is the top guy in the division until somebody removes him. Shakur's doing his thing and he's a top dude and he's a respected guy and he's moving up to that weight class. And Shakur, to his credit, he's not turning down the smoke. Like, he's not publicly said anything. Like, literally, I seen on his Twitter, he said, I'll fight anybody. I don't care. I ain't turned down no smoke. He said something to this effect. So it's a bad look to just put that out there like that and say, oh, Devin's a runner and this and that. Look, Shakur says, just make sure y'all give me my credit. And I think, you know, it just sucks. It sucks. Look, Shakur's confident. Put them in front of me. I'm going to show y'all what I've been saying this whole time. Time going to tell everything. Now, it sucks too because fans want to see great fights. And this is a great stylistic matchup because me personally, I would prefer to see a guy as wild and untamed as Isaac Pitbull Cruz is versus Shakur, vice versa. I just want to see how they both would do and operate. But from the statement, it sounds like Pitbull Cruz's team knows that's an uphill battle, so they'd rather fight Lomachenko. And it just goes to show you that old media also is in a bad space because Lomachenko, they praised him and hoisted him up. And based on what I'm seeing and reading in comment section, people don't really have faith in Lomachenko kind of being around at the top for much longer. He even got dropped from the ESPN pound for pound rankings. But I'll give you guys some more content regarding this. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Is Lomachenko an easier fight than Shakur Stevenson versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz? You know, if anything, that's a testament to how good Shakur is that they're saying that. But it's unfortunate for fans because when the WBC ordered it, you know, I wanted to see it. Let me know how I did in this video. And I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.